We have a very special guest today, as most of us in the real estate profession hang our hat on the mining and the defence industries. So we thought the best way to find out how our future is looking is to look at one of those two pillars of the property section, and that is the defence industry. Now there's a great deal of discussion, some of it true, some of it false. We're going to cut through all of that, go to the top, the CEO of the Defence SA, Andrew Fletcher. Welcome, Andrew.
Thanks, Anthony.
Explain how we sit in defence, how big is this industry, and why is it such an enormous thing for what you've really achieved?
Well, the size of the industry is critical, and it was one of the reasons that the Economic Development Board recommended the government we focus on defence going forward. All up, defence spends about $30 billion a year, of which, if we pare it down, about 10 to 12 million is in procurement, and clearly a lot of that procurement is offshore procurement with weapons and missiles and systems, radar systems, etc. But the spend in Australia currently is about 4.6 billion a year, and that'll rise to about 5.6 billion over the next 3 to 4 years. And we in South Australia so far are achieving or securing through the companies that work here about 25% of that spend, and we anticipate we can do that or better for the next 30 years. So it's a contributor of some 1.25 billion to the gross state product.
So the people that are coming specifically to the battalion or the regiment that's arriving, how many of them are being housed in the Edinburgh precinct, which is purpose-built, presumably?
Yes.
And how many will be available for the general community to buy their houses and, if you like, soak up a bit of, or consume stocks of private housing?
So Defence Housing has already secured 370 houses, I think, through the scheme of purchasing from both the private sector and commissioning houses to be built. The old perceptions of young army men in particular, not having a lot of discretionary spend is gone. These people, when they tour offshore, if Afghanistan, Iraq or Solomons or wherever they've been, they get $50,000 cash, tax-free,
no tax,
on top of their salary. They've got very, very healthy home loan schemes. So we're talking about serious commitment, whether it be to live in or to invest. So we won't just see this money flow in to the area around Edinburgh. These people will be looking, I imagine, from Mawson Lakes, Inner Harbour, Port Adelaide, right through to Golden Grove. Quite a big range of property that they'd be looking at.
In terms of absorption of stock that's currently in that, particularly the northern area, just as a guess, how many homes, private, so people that are watching this have got their private home, how many of those people will be taken out and, sell their houses or rent their houses? Well, let's say sell. Just have a guess. I know, just an intuitive guess.
I'd rather not be specific on number, but what I'd say to people is that we're talking about some very cashed up, wise people that if they don't buy to live, will buy to invest.
Invest, right.
And the other part of our state strategy, which I think is fundamental to the whole thing, it's easy just to look at the regiment coming down, but what we've looked at is the statistics, and the average stay in the Defence Forces for the participant and their family is about 8 years. So they rotate in 3-year blocks. If we can capture them in the second block and their families become established here, integrated into the community, etc., they're more than likely, because South Australia offers so many advantages in terms of cost of housing, less traffic, access to schooling, it's just lifestyle, the whole thing, food, everything. There's no comparison anywhere in Australia. So we believe that we'll capture the family, and that the enlisted partner will go off and do their last 3 years and come back.
Now for Andrew's full 30 minutes, and it's awesome listening, it goes for a whole host of issues. Go to www.TOOP+TOOP.tv and have a look at the whole 30 minutes. It's really awesome. Now this coming Friday at 12 noon we have Kevin Foley, the Deputy Premier and Treasurer, and that is You've got to watch that one too. That's pretty interesting. We started off on a good note and it was really interesting. We went through stamp duty, we went through a whole lot of stuff. It's excellent. Let's go behind the blinds.